This is their annual convention of the American College of Physicians. That's the organization of internal medicine.
Yeah.
Every year they have an annual convention. Sit down next to mommy.
So the convention is there.
Don't forget to call the men.
Oh, right. I will call around 8 or so. I would assume it's New York. You won't be until 9 probably.
The convention is there.
That's correct. The convention is going to be at the Javits Center.
So you found out, then you notified them that you could teach them or what?
No. 4 years ago, their convention was held in Washington. And they knew that they wanted someone to teach a computer course for them. And they went to George Washington University. And they asked them if they knew somebody who could teach this kind of a course, a beginning computer course to physicians.
Yeah.
At that time, I was in the middle of negotiating with George Washington to teach a course.
Yeah.
So they gave them my name. I taught it in Washington. And then they continued. They did it again in San Francisco, and then they did it again in New Orleans, and again they're teaching some of them here.
It looks like
Started out as 4 courses, now it's only 2. So I'm sure it will not be forever.
Well, it's not forever. Something else shows up. In Washington, George Washington, they wouldn't take you to teach courses at night, huh? Or you wouldn't go?
George Washington, sure. I could teach at night.
Yeah?
Sure.
So they would pay? They pay very little, huh?
It pays very little. The answer is I could teach at night for pay. It's complicated. At George Washington University, I can't. At other universities, I could. At George Washington University, I'm already on the faculty, and my full salary is already paid. It's a very complicated situation.
It's connected with the hospital.
I am an associate professor at the George Washington University Medical School.
Yeah.
My salary covers everything having to do with my associate professorship, as well as everything at Children's Hospital. So at George Washington Medical School, in particular, it's hard for me to get paid for anything.
Because there you get...
I'm supposed to teach there anyway, sort of as part of my job.
Yeah.
And I'm a full-time employee as it is, and I'm getting a full-time salary.
Yeah.
But at other universities, I can teach at night, and at other parts of George Washington, I can teach at night.
You mean that's how much you get from the hospital and the university?
It's all from the hospital, but it includes the university, any jobs I do for the university.
Oh, I see.
The salary, however, is 100% from the hospital.
That's the Shiran.
Yeah. That's the songbook.
All of that.
It's upside down.
He has so much patience to do these things.
It's got all the good unit songs in it, Mom.
Yeah.
Look at the end there. You see the front section? I will leave you one copy. You see the front section is white, the first section is blue. You turn it over the other way. It opens up from both sides. One side's open up like Hebrew, one side opens up like English.
It's a 1:45 there.
Yeah, 27. If you turn it to the English, go past the green, keep going.
The green line.
After the green is finished, which is English songs, after that's finished, you'll see...
Hallel is in it, how beautiful.
You'll see a dozen Yiddish songs. Right there, starting those white pages coming up. Is Yiddish. All of the ones that Mommy knows. At least I think they're the ones Mommy knows. They're the ones I know.
Which one is that? I know every Yiddish.
You can see it's written in English letters too. It's written in English and in
I take a walk and I sing songs to myself after 2-3 blocks. I sing songs to myself that I didn't sing for 50, 60 years.
And the Settle Brand, that's what he used to sing that.
Unser Städtel brennt.
Unser Städtel brennt?
Yeah.
How does it go?
Brennt, wieder es brennt.
I don't know.
You don't know that one? Unser Städtel brennt. I thought you knew that.
All the songs came from Poland.
It's Kinderjahren.
Kinderjahren, diese Kinderjahren. The words are there.
The English part is Hebrew, Jewish.
Yiddish. Yeah.
Yiddish, the English.
There's a translation and also...
But it's a Yiddish.
Look at it, take it.
It's the translation of the language only.
No, also both.
It's not
Translation, Yiddish.
Yiddish. I know what it is, but the translation would be another language.
There's a translation of the Bible.
Oh my goodness, I don't need that. I don't even like it since I
don't read it.
I like the Yiddish words.
Look at the other one, you'll see. I think most of them you know.
Okay. where did you get it, my God? How long did it take you to do this?
Months.
You could get the job
right.
to do
But
this.
the job was not as much fun.
No, but
I live on a little less, but I have a good Chiron.
if you if you show this somewhere, they would buy it.
Well, it's unfortunately stolen from other Shironim, so I can't sell it because it's all copyrighted. The Yiddish section came from, the Yiddish section is small because most of the people at the Shira don't know too many Yiddish songs. They mostly know the Israeli ones. So I only included about 20 Yiddish songs. There's 650 songs in there. The Yiddish songs, about 20 Yiddish songs, came from a book there published by Arbeiterring.
By whom?
Arbeiterring.
Arbeiterring.
Years ago, and it was edited by Ruth Rubin.
It's 20 minutes past,
It's 15 minutes to.
and this machine is running.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
You know who said that?
Who said that?
Martin in Israel, Abe Martin's wife.
Oh yeah, that
She showed
machine's
the
right.
video.
Yeah, they don't-
I am going to be on this, and then she fixed her hair.
right. And it sounds also actually the first person who said exactly that, but she said it in Hebrew was Carmela, Yair's wife or Avi's wife. I forget which is which already.
Yeah.
Yair's wife, who came to visit us. We were there one of the first days. We went to Bunya's house.
Carmela isn't like a Spanish name.
The Hebrew name too.
Hebrew.
Mount Carmel. The Haifa is on Mount
Boy,
Carmel.
I hate to think of it.
Anyway, she came and she had never seen it before, this thing. And I was taking her picture and everything, and she said, well, is that, I said, it's video. She said, did you play it on television? I said, yes. And she asked me, and it sounds just like, but she said in Hebrew.
But she's very sweet, that
very sweet.
Abe Martin's wife.
So is Carmela.
So is
Very
she.
sweet. So then she
Uh-huh.
said, I never
She's
heard
a
the
very
word.
beautiful woman.
I never heard that word before. Then she says, oh, she got on.
Huh?
She got on. Meshuga, you know Meshuga?
Yeah.
She got on. Oh, crazy. It's the Hebrew
Yeah.
way of saying, oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
She got on. Anyway, Mom, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you some questions about your childhood and so on. I want to
You
do
run too, or just your voice?
just my voice because it's only...
Maybe nobody will recognize your voice.
Right. When were you born and where?
Where? There is a city next to Sofmar where the Rebbe comes from. It's a walking distance, really. And there was a small town, 200 non-Jewish people, 200 families, and 20 Jewish families. And I was born in 1909. And my father died 1914.
What was the name
So I
of
was 4 years old. Udvari,
Udvar?
in Hungarian Udvari. In Romanian Odoreo.
Oh, it was a Romanian name.
Well, it had a Romanian name because when I was like 10 years old, the Romanians walked in and they took it over. But the school was Hungarian because there were hardly any Romanian people in the town. And so when my father died, I was 4. And then there were 7 children. One was younger than I am. And that one died of spinal meningitis.
The one that was younger.
Yeah, a boy.
A boy. What was his name? Don't remember.
Well, I'm sure when I'll go to bed, I'll
You
be
remember.
2 o'clock in the morning.
You'll remember.
Well, I'm so forgetful, terrible. So first my father died, but that I don't remember. But a year later my brother died, that I remember. And my mother used to cry an awful lot.
Which brother?
That brother that I'm telling
Oh, the
you,
baby.
The
The baby
yeah.
died of meningitis. And
Mhm.
the baby, so the
And
baby
they were-
was a very
They
young
were
infant.
very, very
Okay.
young, yeah.
And at that time, the rest of you were
Well,
all...
I was 4, the baby was probably 2.
When did your father die?
1914.
When you were what?
I was probably 4. I was born 1909, November.
Ah, okay. So, and at that time, how old was the oldest? The oldest is Bertha?
The oldest was Bertha. She was like 16 or 17.
She was already 16 or 17.
Yes, she was the oldest.
And then after Bertha came,
After Bertha came Cyril, who died going to the Holocaust, going to Germany, and on the train she died. she had a 16-year-old son with her and her husband.
So she remained in Hungary, Cyril, when the rest of you came here.
Yeah, you see, when I came here, somehow Roosevelt decided not to let in any Jews. Not only they didn't have them in Germany, but they didn't let them in here.
What year was that?
That year, 1932.
You came here in 1932,
Mm-hmm.
and you were the last person to come from your family.
I was Cyril stayed home, and they took them to Germany.
And Cyril was the only one who stayed home.
Yeah.
Now,
Meyer, first was Meyer and Jenny came. And you know what happens that you only remember extreme things, either very happy or very sad. So she went with the wagon to Satmar, the city,
Jenny?
to go from the Jenny and Meyer. And from there, they went by train to the boat, wherever the boat left.
Do you know where the boat left from? Do you remember?
I know I came from France. Didn't you
France.
come from France? The boat.
The boat sailed
Yes,
from France.
I think
In 1932, Mommy's boat.
1932.
It was
From Le Havre.
Cherbourg, I think, or Le Havre.
I don't know. Was it from La
One of
Many
the
boats
two.
used to leave from Le Havre. I don't
Yeah,
know.
one of the either Havre or Cherbourg, I don't
Or
remember
Cherbourg.
that.
Uh-huh. So you traveled by train from Satmar to either Cherbourg or Le Havre,
Yes.
and that's how you went.
That's how you take the
No.
Or you went to Budapest.
for Germany.
She went from Budapest or wherever it is there to Holland, I think.
Holland, no.
Or I went to Holland.
You went. Somebody went
I was
out.
never in
All right.
Holland.
No, I know. I went to Holland before I went to Argentina. That's where I went to Holland.
When you came.
No, when
You came.
When
What
I
year?
went to Argentina, that's when I came.
When you left Poland.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about when you left Poland. When you went to Argentina, it's on the way from Poland. Yeah?
That's right.
From Poland,
I went to Holland
you went to Holland in order to sail.
in order to sail,
And you
right?
sailed from Holland.
From Holland, yeah.
And what year was that?
This was in
1930.
1923.
23. 1923, you left, and what village did you live in?
I lived in a village, Dalmatoshina, you wouldn't know.
Dalmatoshina?
Yeah, you can pronounce that.
I
But
can't
it's
pronounce-
Mir, actually.
Very near
You
Mir.
know the Mir,
The Mir Yeshiva. And you went to the Mir Yeshiva
Right.
when you were little. So,
And I went to Mir Yeshiva, and then when
how many years did you go to Yeshiva?
Until 1918, actually. So 14 years.
14
I mean,
years.
up to...
Till you were 14 years old. You were born in 1904.
Yeah,
And you was in Yeshiva till 1918.
18.
And when did you start Yeshiva?
Well, yeshiva I started
when you were 6.
when I was, I entered the yeshiva in 1915 or 16 actually. The yeshiva I entered. Up to that we went to yeshiva Ktane. You know what I mean?
And Yeshiva Katana was home or also in Mir?
In Mir. No.
Also in Mir.
Elementary.
Always
Is
in
that
Mir.
it?
So you,
Katana?
and how many years, so when did you first go to Mir?
I went to Mir when I was 10 years old. Before 10.
No, it must have been before 10
Before
because
10. I went to Mir when I was, whatever.
Is it?
I went to
7
Tir
o'clock?
about maybe 1910, I suppose. I went to Mir.
about 6 years old.
That's right. That's
To
when I
Yeshiva
went-
Katana.
Right.
And you
No,
lived
not
in
Yeshiva Ktane. First I went to Cheder.
to Cheder.
From Cheder I went to Yeshiva Ktane.
So Cheder is how many years?
Yes, in Cheder I was about 3 months, 3 seasons, year and a half.
A year and a half, 3 semesters.
That's right.
Cheder. And from there you go to
Yeshiva
Yeshiva Katana.
Ktane.
And this whole time you were living in Mir alone?
Alone.
And you went home only vacations and...
Home only for holidays. Pesach and Sukkot, every holiday.
Every holiday.
Yeah.
They were going, what about the summer? Were you off in the summer?
Not while we were in yeshiva. Yeshiva doesn't get you up in the summer. After I left the yeshiva, that's when I rather went to school, to Russian school.
Right.
So I used to be off on summer.
So you left the yeshiva And then you went to Russian gymnasium.
Russian gymnasium, right.
That means you left the yeshiva to do that.
Right. Yes. You see what happened when I went to the yeshiva originally in Mir. So the yeshiva was in the Mir. Then the yeshiva moved out from Mir to Vilna, I think. To Vilna, yes. So we didn't go there. I didn't go there. But I went to another yeshiva, to Host Chaim's yeshiva in a small town, Smilovich. So I was then in Smilovich. And then I came home, and that's when the government started to change. It was 1919, I suppose. So my father didn't want me to go away from home. So I stayed home. While I stayed at home, I started to take Russian lessons by the Russian teacher. And that's how I went from there I went to the gymnasium.
The Russian teacher suggested that he is smart enough to go to gymnasium. In Russia to gymnasium, you have to be really, Jewish.
My father was against gymnasium, Russian as a whole. But the teacher convicted, and also my aunt. I had an aunt in Timkovich. I had an aunt.
That's the myth?
No, Timkovich. So she came to us somehow during the summer, I don't know how, or spring. Anyway, she came to visit us somehow. So the teacher told, so my aunt knew the trouble that I had with my father. So she told my father that, don't worry, I'll take care of him. He'll go to school every morning, and I'll go to the evening every morning. Don't worry, I'll take care of him. So that's when he agreed that I should go to Timkovich, the gymnasium.
That's where the gymnasium was, in Timkovich.
Right, Timkovich, yeah.
And the Russian teacher was Jewish?
No.
No, a Russian teacher, not a Jew.
Very nice fellow. Shmure, I remember his name.
He came, and he was this was his living, like a tutor, one person at a time, or it was a class?
He had a school, a class. But after class, he taught me before class, actually. I used to go to 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning?
Yes, I used to get at 5 in the morning to go to him before the class starts. That's when he taught me.
Before he had to teach in school.
In regular school.
That's right.
He was tutoring on the side.
Unbelievable that he wasn't Jewish and he was so nice to Jewish
He was a
people.
very nice teacher, very nice man, nice teacher. And he really took an interest in me. And he prepared me to that gymnasium, and that's how.
He spoke to your father personally?
Definitely.
Came to the house?
Yeah.
And not even once.
How far is that? It's not so far. Yeah, of course, he came to my father to speak to
He
him.
was
On his
sort of,
own, or you asked him to?
I don't remember if I asked him or not.
see
Maybe-
what
maybe
happens,
I
he
did,
was
I
he
don't
was
remember.
he was sort of surprised that he's so smart.
Right.
And he thought he shouldn't waste his time because he could get in.
Right.
So he prepared them. I thought it was very nice.
Obviously it was.
Sure, it was very nice of him, very nice
Now,
of him.
When
Very
you were
nice
living,
fellow.
Mom, when you were living at home in Woodbury,
Yeah. Don't ask about the school.
no, I know, but did any of you go to school? Did you?
We all went to
You
school.
all went to school. Now, what school did you go to?
Well, there was in Woodbury a school, public school, and it was, they only taught the students 4 years, and after that you have to go for 2 or more years every summer. It's like repetition,
Uh-huh.
but the school was only 4 years.
And the summer, the government, it was a government school.
Government school.
And the summers were also government school?
Yes, the same school.
Same school. The government
Mhm.
had 4 years education, and then summers in addition afterwards.
In addition, yes.
And that's what you all
In
did?
addition, the summer, which wasn't all-day school like regular school, just 2 hours a day.
And is that what all of you children did? Bertha, everybody? And you learned there Hungarian?
Meyer went to little high school. No, we spoke Hungarian there, and we read a lot.
And did you speak Hungarian at
Jewish.
home to your mother?
Yes, only Hungarian. We didn't know Yiddish.
You didn't know Yiddish?
I told you that we were at the airport, and the Hasidish boy said that in Hungarian, that the sign we made for Jennifer, I was holding that it's his. He told Well, the Hasidim there,
I don't
in
understand.
Hungarian.
I know you speak Hungarian, but I didn't know you didn't also speak Yiddish.
No, they didn't speak, even the Hasidim didn't speak.
Ah, even the Hasidim spoke Hungarian, I see.
Yeah.
So,
I learned Yiddish, you see, when I was 10 years old, Jenny was like 13. And he and Meyer went to my aunt. My mother had a sister in Bestett, the city far from us. She lived there, and she had only a son and a daughter. That was very small family those days. So she told my mother that she felt sorry for my mother, so she told her that she's so unhappy that she only has two, that my mother should give her two of us to raise. So she took Jenny and Meyer. So Meyer went to school there a few more years. There they had,
and Jenny also, or only Meyer?
no, Jenny didn't.
Only Meyer. And so they went there when they were older already.
Yeah,
They moved to the aunt's house.
yes. And they left me there, and they left the two oldest sisters, Cyril and Bertha. And I remember that the neighbor had a daughter who was as old as Jenny, and she took care of me because I used to cry a lot when they left.
You missed them.
I cried an awful lot.
Did you see them at all?
Well, I saw them. They came, like my aunt came every summer with the 4 children. You know, in Europe, poor people used to go for a vacation to the relatives. So they came, and then once I went there,
What kind of a house did you live in?
it was a relatively nice house. It's a nice area. Walking from the subway, a corner house.
Subway, you mean
It's the railroad.
the railroad?
The corner house. But the outside, you see, it was not a brick house. Up to half was brick, and then it was a brick-shaped mud, but it wasn't burned to brick,
I understand.
and it wasn't finished. Usually they finish that,
Right.
and they painted just like this wall.
Right.
Painted.
The kind
That's
of
how they have in Europe all over the houses. They are painted from us.
right.
When we went to the Soviet Union and we went to Leningrad, and every house was painted so beautiful, and they said that the President of the United States came, and then they tell the people that they should paint every house outside.
Make it look nice.
Yeah, they get prepared. Right?
You want to go and watch?
Yeah,
It's almost there.
yeah, thank you.
It was very nice of you. I know your hair got so much better. So healthy looking. It doesn't fall out.
45 pounds.
45 pounds?
Yeah.
I don't think you have any use for 45
Yeah,
pounds.
you could freeze it.
45 pounds, Mom. You'll have to use it every 10 years. How much pounds do you use?
Yeah.
How many pounds do you use a week?
4 pounds.
So it's a year.
A year. If one
10
week,
pounds.
if
Ten
I use 4 pounds,
10 weeks, 10 weeks. I don't know what you do with so much chicken. You don't use so much chicken that it pays. Anyway, Mom, tell me, could you describe to me the house? You were talking before about the
Yeah.
house.
Mhm.
You used to live in the bottom was brick, and above it was
it was
mud, dried mud.
Well,
bricks.
it looked like brick, but it was
Not baked,
big.
unbaked
Yeah,
bricks.
because
It was not
the,
baked.
it was a new house when my mother got married. You see, I was.
Who built the house?
Now the house was built. You see, the house was built for my grandmother. My grandfather died. And when my father got married, they gave him the house. And my grandmother, that's what I know. And my grandmother went to live with Benny Klein's mother.
And so
And you see what happened? It looks like they got married, and then every other year a baby came.
right.
Until they had 7.
So that's it.
And, oh, it's on there. and my father was this very orthodox that he, just like now, this very orthodox, yeshiva kids get married and they're not anxious to work. They spend more time to study. So they had in that house a grocery store, nice size, and also you needed a permit for it, and they liked my father very much in the city. They said he was a very honest man.
I don't think this is running.
He was probably not business-minded, so he was an honest person.
No, I guess it's running.
So they gave him a permit to sell also cigarettes and tobacco and liquor. And the peasants used to drink a lot.
So that's how he made a living, and your mother mostly.
So my
ran the
mother
store.
took care of this, and then she used to walk to the city to bring sometimes stuff.
So how was the house? What did it look
Now
like?
the house,
The
it looked
downstairs
very.
was a store.
It was one flight. It
One
wasn't. None of them were 2 flights building. One flight. On the corner there was a grocery store, and next to the grocery store, towards one street, there was a kitchen and 2 bedrooms next to each other. Now the bedrooms one bedroom they used to make very large, and they put on it in at the table. On the 2 sides they put 2 beds, and then a large table with chairs, like with 6 chairs.
Did you eat?
Yeah.
So that was.
And the kitchen. And
that
there
was
was
for eating?
another bedroom.
And there was another bedroom.
This was towards one street. And towards the other street, there was a store where the peasants used to come to sit down to drink.
That was separate from the other store? It was
No,
just,
together, but it was a corner.
Like a tavern.
It was a corner. So on the corner was the grocery, and one side next to the grocery was that big bedroom with 2 beds and table and a chest.
So it was 3 rooms, the kitchen
No,
and 2
just a minute, there is more. So on that side there was a kitchen and that large room, and next to it another bedroom. And next to it there was a I don't know, kitchen or where you call it, but they baked bread there. It was a big oven. You know how it looked at it.
A hearth, a brick oven.
A
Brick oven.
big oven
With a chimney.
with a chimney that they baked bread.
Right.
That was the last room. And on the other side of the grocery store, there was this big room where the peasants used to come to drink, and there was built into it a corner with that you could see through, like rods of
Spindles, yeah.
spindles, and like in the post office
Right.
where you gave out the drink.
Right.
But that was closed, really, you know. You gave out the drink through
the
like in the
bars.
post
I
office.
understand.
And next to that one, there was another room, and that one room had on the ceiling an opening to make a sukkah.
You could open it and close it, or it was
Yeah.
just open?
No, well, it was open it and close it. You could open the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the roof, you could open one side that it should be open.
I understand. You could lift up the roof somehow.
That's right.
And
And there was a big basement. In the summer, you used to keep food in the basement. It shouldn't get spoiled.
and
It was quite big, and it had a big porch. And the porch was also like, the floor was mud, and in the kitchen too.
the
And they
kitchen
used
and the
to-
porch, the floor was just dirt.
Yeah, but the edge of that porch, all the way through the house, it was inside. The porch was like a yard wide, and poles, and on the edge wood, but it was covered. It had a roof over it. And in the yard next to that, there were 2 big pear trees, very delicious. And there was a garden. And in the garden we used to grow vegetables, all kinds of vegetables.
What kind would you
And there
grow?
was a prune tree, a plum.
You had plums
tree.
and pears. You had plums
Yeah,
and
we
pears.
had 2 pear trees and plum.
And a plum tree.
Yeah.
And what kind of vegetables did you grow?
Vegetables, potatoes, onions, parsley, carrots, all the string beans,
Cucumbers, I suppose.
cucumbers, tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Vegetables for all summer we used to grow. And when the peasants came from the church Sunday and we cleaned the garden, we used to give them parsley leaves.
Now, and what was the rest of the floors in the rest of the house? Wood?
The floor was, all the walls were like this, but inside it was finished. Like you have to paint it sometimes. Only
Inside
the
it was
outside
finished with
wasn't
plaster?
finished. Yes.
Inside was plastered and
Plastered.
painted
And also
and whitewashed.
yes, the walls all over were also painted like this, but the ceiling was wood.
Uh-huh. And the floors?
And the floors was, in the bedrooms, it was boards,
Wood.
wood. You have to wash it, scrub it.
Wood floors, wood ceiling,
Mhm.
plaster walls,
Yeah,
Some
it
kind
was
of cement
plaster.
and whitewashed or painted.
Yeah, but in the kitchen it was mud.
Mud,
You
dirt.
have to get soil and make mud out of it.
And
paste
finish
it.
it and refinish it? So
Now
now-
we finish it, that's how you cleaned it every Thursday or Friday.
And now, where did you eat together as a family?
Yes.
And where did you eat? In that
In
bedroom?
that room where there
the
was,
big
yeah,
dining
but
room?
there was in the kitchen a table too.
Also. And
You
what
want
did you...
something in the kitchen, there was a table, but there was a bed also.
There was a bed everywhere. And...
Is it so? You too?
I don't know, no.
No. They had it.
And
They
the-
had it fancy. They
and-
slept on the oven. They slept.
And now, on what did you cook? You baked bread in the oven, which was in a different room.
Baker, my mother used to bake every day, like I don't know how many loaves of bread for selling in the grocery.
And what about other food? Where did you cook the other food?
Well, there was next to the grocery, there was the kitchen. I said the kitchen first, and then the
And
bedroom.
what kind of stove did you have in the kitchen? A wood stove?
No, not wood. It was made out of
No, it burned wood.
burned. What?
You burned wood in it.
We burned wood. Yeah.
That's what I meant. It was a cast iron.
Cast iron, and they used to. In fact, when Schleimer lived with us, he used to buy like a piece of farm, a farm, not farm,
Forest.
forest, a small forest. And they cut wood and they brought it to our backyard to sell it. They cut it about a yard or yard and a half long, yeah? And they sell it in squares.
Right. So he sold wood.
He
He
did,
bought a forest, would cut down the trees, do the work,
yeah.
and he bought the rights to cut the trees down, in other words. Did he
Well,
actually buy the land?
the land that he bought, he had the right.
He actually bought the land, and he cut the trees
He
down.
bought the land, and after he used the tree, the land belonged to the owner.
So he only bought the right to cut the wood. He
Yeah.
didn't buy the land. And he bought the right to cut the wood.
Yeah, and he
sold it.
also used to buy wheat before it was before the
Before it was
harvest.
harvested. The futures. He bought the
Yes,
futures.
and he used to sell it in the city.
Now, where did Shlomi live?
Well, once he lived with us, there was enough rooms because Maya and Jenny weren't home already when they got married. And soon after they got married, Cyril got married from the same town where Shlomo lived. He made the shidduch.
And in the house, was there plumbing at all?
No.
No plumbing.
Oh, bathroom. I was going to tell you, don't ask where the bathroom
It was outside.
outside.
And what about water? Where do you get water from?
Oh, there was in the yard, how do you call it?
A well.
The well. And it had, you had to, there was a wood this way, and the one this way. And
And there was a pail at the end of it?
Where you
lift up a
hung
pail?
the pail, you hung the pail, there was something to hang it on and you pulled it
You
up
pulled it
this
up.
way. But it wasn't such a good water drinking, so we went to the neighbor for drinking water.
So you took, the neighbor had a better well, or he had a
It
different?
was better water. I don't know, maybe the well was deeper or
Uh-huh.
something. It was next door neighbor.
And you, is a Jewish man, Jewish
No.
man? No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you knew them, you socialized with the non-Jewish people at all?
Well, he didn't socialize. His wife used to come to us to get drunk, and her husband got angry sometimes. They were very nice people, though.
But you got water, but water you took from them regularly.
Yeah, other people went there too. They helped out each other, people.
And you told me once a story, you either had a friend or an acquaintance, anyway, who was not Jewish, and you went to her house and brought back popcorn, it was Pesach, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, what happened then? What was that all about? Who was this person anyway?
He's the next door neighbor.
That same one?
No, another one.
Another one.
Well, we lived in a corner house, so we had two neighbors.
Right.
Now, across the street of us lived a cousin who married another cousin. They lived just across the street. And she was selling like yard goods. That's what they lived on. And there too, the men didn't do much.
The women mostly were...
Just like I was asking Phyllis that her cleaning girl likes to tell me about her daughter. And she does say that she has a son and two daughters, but I don't want to ask about the son because she doesn't want to talk about
Right.
it. Then Phyllis put up, does it work?
Yeah.
Anyway, Phyllis put us on a car that a man was, you know, there's, how do you call it, not a cab.
One of those limousines.
Yeah, not exactly, a regular car. A very nice black man was a driver. And so I said to Phyllis that he was so nice. I said he kept on talking about, black men, about his daughter. He lives close to Philadelphia, somewhere in the suburbs. And he said his one daughter is in Chicago medical school, the other one is in college. She doesn't know yet exactly what she wants to do. And he has two sons, and then he didn't say anything. I said to Phyllis, what happens? So Phyllis said they have a lot of trouble raising the boys. With the girls, they have no trouble. So anyway, her cleaning girl's son killed the next door neighbor, a black man, so he's in jail the rest of his life. But the girls are nice.
So you got the same thing in Hungary.
No, so, well, not exactly, but now these very Orthodox Jewish boys have the same problem.
And
Look, Charles is 23, and he graduated and he did very well, and now he took a test for CPA, but he isn't going to go to work. Now, where did you see yet a boy that he should pass all the tests and he shouldn't want to go to work? 4 more years he wants to stay in the yeshiva.
And tell me something. When you...
Now that you talk about this, I could see it, There was, besides that, you see it in comparison with this land, it was bigger than this. Besides that, there was there a stable that we had cows.
A barn.
The barn, yeah.
So you had a little barn also.
A little barn also, and there was also an extra little room that my mother raised like 18 or 20 geese. And when they grew up, you have to feed them for 4 weeks, force feeding it. And we kept them there.
So you had geese and a cow.
Yeah, well, everything you had,
Right.
your own.
On this piece of land. And the land you owned.
Yes, definitely.
Your mother owned the land.
Yeah.
Your father and then your mother.
So what
So
to
what
make?
happens when you left? Did you sell it?
Oh, we sold it before we left. When Meyer and Jenny were here, and Morris, they sent us $21 every month.
And that was enough to live on?
So anyway, no, you see what happened, before we left, my mother rented one of the stores to another man. He came with his wife, and next to the store where the sukkah is supposed to be, that was their room to live in. This was a very decent non-Jewish couple. And all the way in the back where I told you that we baked bread, that was their kitchen. See how people live.
So you
And
rented
they were
out.
very cultured people. And they made a store there.
What did they sell?
Well, they took the liquor. They took the both stores.
They took the store from
They
you
took the store.
and took it over.
And yes, and we only had the living space.
Right.
And we got from $21 every month.
From America.
It was an awful lot.
So you got money from America.
When I came here,
Who came to America first, Morris?
Morris, Jenny, and Maya.
Together.
You see, my brother, I had an uncle, my father's brother, who, when my father got married, he also lived there. And he went to America.
What was his name?
Louis Friedman.
Oh, Louis Friedman. Okay.
That was Louis Friedman.
That was your father's brother.
My father's brother, he went
He
to
came
America.
first.
Yes, he came to America, he got married, and he lost his wife. She died. And he came home to get married. And he saw how we lived, and he told Maya, Jenny, and Morris he brought them out.
So they went back to America with Louis Friedman.
With Louis Friedman.
Okay, and then they established themselves here.
They didn't really go because Louis Friedman went with them to get the visa, and he came back, and they brought him here.
So
And he was a butcher. So I think Meyer worked for him for a while. And, I feel like crying. It was so sad.
So they all came more or less together,
Yeah, the three of them came together.
arranged by Louis. And they lived here, they sent you back some money,
They sent back $21.
$20 a month, and with that...
I don't even know where they got it, so much money, the three of them.
And with that and the rent that you got from half the house,
Yeah,
You
we
lived
lived
on that.
on it, yes. And then, a little after, I don't know, 2 years after or when, we sold the whole thing and we moved to the city,
to which
to
city?
Satmar.
To Satmar.
You remember Bella?
Yes.
Bella lived in Satmar, and Bertha lived in Satmar.
And so you moved to Satmar for a while,
Yeah.
and you lived there also in a house? You bought a house?
Yes, we bought a house next to a gardener. It was a very nice house. Also, we had a tenant, a couple from Bucharest. Nice couple. They also lived in one bedroom and a kitchen.
Now tell me,
It was a
when,
nice house.
the time you went to the neighbors and you brought back popcorn,
Yeah,
tell me that story.
I was very young.
Yeah. So tell me the story.
You know what happened? The story was that we used to give the guy a matzah, and pasta. And I brought a matzah and they sent back popcorn.
You came in the house with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So my mother probably threw me.
in general,
Yeah.
you could eat at the guy's house what they gave you as long as you knew what it was. It was
No,
okay.
we
to eat?
didn't eat.
In general, you did not eat anything, not even popcorn.
Well, popcorn is, we didn't eat. We didn't put in, they didn't put in popcorn fat like here. Here they put oil or
Right.
egg.
You never, it was
No.
just on the fire, made in the fireplace, or what?
Yeah, they made a fire in the backyard and they put it on a, I don't even know what.
We make it here too.
Like a strainer.
Right. We make it like that here too.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you have a fireplace, you know, popcorn.
Yeah.
But for example, popcorn, you knew already it was okay to eat.
What?
Because
Yes,
popcorn,
of course, there was nothing.
there's nothing in it. So you could eat as long as you knew what it was. Like popcorn, you could eat. You wouldn't eat from the dishes. You wouldn't eat.
You know what else we had besides for the peasants to drink? In the backyard we had a, how do you call that, rolling,
Bowling.
bowling. in the backyard.
Some kind of bowling.
Outside.
They played.
It was exactly the same as they have here.
Yeah.
Not as fancy. It was this narrow and
Wooden floor?
I don't even know
Or on
whether
the
it was
grass?
wood, but I know it was wood. No grass, smooth something.
And they paid to play? Or they
I don't
played?
know whether
You don't
they
know.
paid or they just
They drank while they
drank.
played.
Yeah.
And then you came to, you left Poland, and then you were the second to leave. Sarah left first,
Sarah, yeah, Sarah left first.
and Sarah came to America.
When Sarah left, Rose wasn't born yet, I think. Huh? Yes, Sarah left.
Not yet.
Sarah left before Rose was born.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Sarah came to live in America very early. What made her leave early? Was she the rebel or?
What do you
No,
think they
no,
made
no.
early? There was nothing to learn.
Well, but
no
the rest
future.
was still there. She was the first.
Wait a while. Sarah was in town working as a dressmaker or learning how to make dresses.
Sarah or
Sarah.
Bunyan?
Sarah. So she lived in town,
Which town?
in Mir.
In Mir.
Yeah. And she was like a little bit more sophisticated. So meanwhile, a cousin of ours, a family, was leaving for America. So Sarah said she wanted to go with them to America.
A lot of people were leaving already at this time.
Of
Oh, my God,
This
they're
was, I
leaving
think,
to
I think
America.
It was in
was-
1913.
Everybody was going. Whoever could.
You
people
know
were
what
going
happened,
more.
Ira, with leaving to America? You had a feeling you'll never see them again. It wasn't like now you went on a plane and you went, but it took long by boat, and it
I
was
can
so
imagine.
scary to ocean, the boat, and
Yeah.
wait, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, I feel like
I
crying.
can imagine. So the people just left one after another because there was no future in general. They all started to
That's
go.
right.
There was nothing to
So
live.
everybody's going to America. I
There were
understand.
no factories. In Czechoslovakia had factories, but here where I was, there was only land to work on, but Jewish people didn't work on the land. They weren't, I don't think they were allowed to buy land.
So the whole economy was just the peasants and the small stores, and that was it.
Yes, the peasants and the small stores.
But your father did made a living selling cheese.
We made cheese, yeah, exactly, a factory of cheese. And we also had a piece of our own land, and we used to rent land
To peasants?
from peasants.
From peasants.
From peasants.
That's right. There were rich peasants that had big pieces of land.
That's not a peasant area, a landowner. So you rented it from the landowner.
From the landowner, right.
And you farmed it?
And we farmed it, right.
What did you grow?
Oh, wheat, rye, no, mostly rye. Very little rye and the barley. We used to buy a lot of barley. And that potato also, that,
And this is to sell.
to sell, right. Yes, to sell. And for ourselves.
And for yourselves.
We
And
needed plenty of ourselves, we were a big family.
so you worked the land. So is that what the horses were for? Because you had horses
Yes.
to work this land. Horses were
That's
to work
right.
the land.
We used to hire a man, and sometimes he used to take our horse, and sometimes he had his own horse to plant whatever was necessary.
And so
And we plant with him.
Sarah came here, and then when you finished gymnasium, you left.
Oh, that's a big different time. Yes, that's right.
So
I left in
how-
1923, and Sarah left in 1913. So she left 10 years before me.
10 years later. So 10 years later, you finished gymnasium and left. You were the second person to leave from your family. Between Sarah
Right.
and you, there was nobody.
Right.
Sarah went. 10 years later, you left.
Right.
Now, Sarah had no trouble getting a visa, but you couldn't.
Well, Sarah was in 1913. I don't think if visa was necessary.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how, but that was very easy at that time.
But
There
by the
wasn't,
time-
there wasn't time they didn't let you in
You
here.
just needed the money to pay for the ship.
The ship.
That's all.
You didn't get in. By the time you left, it was not like that anymore.
Oh no, of course not. Sooner after the war, it was impossible to come to the United States from Poland.
Right. So at that point,
Poland had a little quota, very little small quota, and it was always fulfilled right away.
So then you left knowing you couldn't get into the United States right away.
That's right.
Did you go straight to Argentina?
Straight to Argentina.
Straight to Argentina.
Straight to Argentina.
What made you pick Argentina?
A lot of Jewish people went.
Here were a lot of, some of them went to Brazil, some went to Africa even. The fact I picked Argentina because some friends of mine went also to Argentina. So at least I had some friends to go with.
Uh-huh. Now, you had cousins who went to Cuba.
That was later. Yes.
Later?
Yeah, two cousins went to Cuba. Also, they couldn't come to the United States, so they went to Cuba.
Same situation. So you went to Argentina. You sailed to Argentina from Holland.
Yes, from Amsterdam, right.
In 1923.
1923.
You were born in '04.
That's right.
So you were 19 years old. You were 19 years old, and you went to Argentina. Now, what happened in Argentina?
Well, in Argentina, I had to look for work. Of course, it was not so easy, for a green Arab, not knowing anything. So, and they used to allow us to stay in the port, not in the port. There was an immigration there, and they gave us 7 days for an immigrant was allowed to stay there for 7 days. And they gave us some breakfast also, coffee and white bread, certain white bread. So anyway, I used to have my breakfast there and go to the city to look for work. It was not so easy. Finally, when I came back, I was supposed to sleep there. So I saw that people are looking for workers to work on the road. So I subscribed for it.
It wasn't so easy, huh?
So I subscribed to work on the road. And they told us, I think that it was three pesos a day or something like that. Anyway, so I subscribed, and they took me, and we went. We were riding rather for about over a day or something like that to that place.
I'm riding on what?
And train.
Train.
Of course. So we came to that place. It was an empty place, of course. So he made a tent, a couple tents made for us, and we slept in the tent. And during the day we used to work on the road.
Were you all Jewish immigrants working in this job, or different kinds?
I think mostly Jewish. I don't remember. I think it's mostly Jewish.
Can you imagine to go to
So,
look for something
yeah,
good and to land?
And the way we came from the station when we came the first time, we had to walk a number of miles to get to that place. So finally we came and we started to work there, and it was all right. And I think we worked about 10 days or 12 days there on the road. And finally, somehow we were supposed to get paid. We didn't get paid. So we started to ask for payroll, whatever it was. And all of a sudden he disappeared, the contractor. There was no contractor and no pay or nothing. So we went. There was a village not far from that place where we worked, about a mile or 2 miles.
You expect the call?
Yeah. I'm going to push that.
If you don't lose weight, I'll kill you.
Sit down.
If the kids will hear.
They will, too. It's on. Okay. Can't see what the hell's doing in there. Okay.
Let's talk about your weight.
We're going to have problems today. I can see that already here. It's going to be a short evening.
I'm not. You're right.
I got what we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about Argentina.
You wrote down.
You were in Argentina when we left off.
Right.
You were in Argentina, and you were working on this road gang, building
That's
a road,
right.
and they didn't pay you.
Right.
After several weeks or days?
days, I mean.
10 days,
don't
he
remember,
said.
yeah.
10 days, he said.
And so then, now what, now you were somewhere very far from Buenos Aires
Very
in
far.
Argentina. What did you do then?
Well, so after we couldn't get our pay, so we were lost. So we left the place and we went to the town not far from it. In that town, there were storekeepers. So of course they were all Jews, so we told them our heartaches. So one town man told me that he knows of a grocery store, or rather a general store, that he needs a clerk. So he says to me, write him a letter. Tell him what you know about groceries or something like that. And maybe he'll get. So I wrote him a letter, and in a few days I got an answer that I should come to him and he'll be interview me. So I went there and he hired me. So I worked with him for about, don't remember, about 3 or 4 months or 5 months, something like that.
Did he pay you?
And it was very nice, was a very nice man, and I liked it very much. I slept in the store. We slept in the store, in the back of the store we slept. But we ate with him. Weekend definitely, but every day I don't remember where we ate. But anyway, we had quite nicely there.
It was regular Shabbos
And there was another also clerk with me.
Well, that's the we. There was someone else also.
That's right, there was another clerk with me. So...
From the same group, or he was there before?
No, he was before. He was there before. But we got acquainted. It was very nice. We enjoyed it. Then there was how do you call it? That there's no rain.
Drought.
The drought. And the customers of that man were always farmers. There was a drought, and it always by an account, never by for cash. So they couldn't pay their bills, and it was trouble, and he went bankrupt.
The store.
The store, he went bankrupt.
You
And
chose the wrong country.
I think he signed up with his creditors, anyway, he went out with money. So after he closed up the store, so we went to Weiss. I went back to
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
Tell me something. This town, you say, was mostly a Jewish town?
No.
No.
It was Christians. Only the storekeepers
Just
were
him.
Jewish. The storekeepers were all Jewish.
Like usually.
So I went back to Buenos Aires. I remember he took me to the station, the man, the owner, and he hugged me and he kissed me and we started to cry.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was a very nice man. I think his name was Weiss, I think. And
But there were a lot of Jews in
the town was
Argentina.
Pau something, I don't remember. Anyway, so I came back to Buenos Aires, and I had those lunch people there, so I stayed with them for a while. And finally we rented the room together with 2 more boys. I have the picture here of those, all 3 of us. And I went to look for a job. So the first job I got was in a shoe factory. They used to bend down like with the heel, bend down something and knock it down. Anyway, I stayed with him not long in that shoe factory. I don't remember how much, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks anyway. Then a young of mine from States, he was working in a paper factory, but they make the paper box factory. So he recommended me to his place, and they took me in there, and I stayed with them. Until I went to the United States.
So how long did you stay in Argentina altogether?
The first time I stayed must have been about a year and a half. I don't even remember. Oh, what I'm mixing up. The paperback factory was my second time in
Secretary.
Argentina.
Now,
Okay.
well, you
The
came
first
here
time-
and then you went back to
Yeah,
Argentina.
that's right. Now, what happened then? You then, on the first trip to Argentina, you were still in Argentina, you had some jobs, whatever they were. You can't remember anymore for sure what the last one was. And then, then you tried to come to the United States.
Right.
Now, how did you try?
Well, that's it. They were their macher, they called themselves, agents. So I wrote to Sarah, to my sister here, and she sent me, I think, it was about $600.
600 American dollars.
I think so.
It must have been 60.
The first time, or the
Maybe
second
$600
time,
was $1 million
I
there.
think there was something like,
Wasn't
could it be 300? I don't know, it was a big
Some
sum
substantial amount of money she had
Big
to
sum of
send you.
money. Big sum. So, and I went to
And what did you get for that money?
a passport.
Passport.
You
Passport.
bought a passport.
And,
Is that good to play it
Sure.
on television?
No one's going to see it. What are you worried about? You're afraid they'll take away citizenship? Now there's amnesty, you don't have to worry. So wait, so you bought with that a passport.
Yeah.
Was this the passport that had the name Weiss in it, or not yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That passport
This was Gokowitz. A
Gokowitz.
Gokowitz passport from Argentina.
From Argentina.
So what was on it fake?
That I was there. I stayed there for 5 years.
That's all.
That's
was
all.
just what they had to fake was how long you were there, so you had to come in under the Argentine quota.
That's right.
And for this you paid a lot of money,
That's right.
and you went with it to New York.
To New York.
And what happened in New York?
Came to New York, so there were a lot of people used to go at that time. So they didn't believe our papers and kept us in Ellis Island.
And how long did they keep you in Ellis Island?
Oh, it was. So my sister
Sarah.
Sarah took a lawyer, and he went to, I don't know where he went. Anyway, he made me, they shouldn't send me back. They should keep me in Ellis Island. So they kept me in Ellis Island for 6 months.
So he was trying to get you in
Right,
during these
that's
6
right,
months.
during
So they
that
didn't
time.
send you back, but they didn't
No,
let you in either.
that's right.
And he was working
He
with
was
Sarah, trying
that-
to get you in.
Get me, that's
He
right.
obviously did not succeed.
No, not succeed at all. But he was succeeded in keeping me there for 6 months.
6 months. So 6 months you lived on Ellis Island,
That's right.
Doing nothing.
and
And
that's
they-
when you wrote then a book
That's
or
right.
something like this that you
Yeah.
still have somewhere.
Yes, I do have
Okay.
some bits.
How
On
come
Ellis
you
Island.
didn't have it published?
And this
And
book is
the-
what, like your memoirs from Ellis Island
That's
or
right.
from everything?
Memories from, I think, maybe from everything, I don't even remember. But
I am
Well,
sure it's a book that voice books then that are published.
And
It's probably a very nice book.
I'm sure.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing to that.
Well,
Anyway,
it's a beautiful life
and
story.
while I was staying in Ellis Island, they all came to visit me, of course, all my relations, you know. And it was quite tragic. I mean, Sarah especially was very much involved, and she suffered a lot too. So at the end was that finally they refused. All those connections they were refused, and they sent me back. Sent me back, I remember exactly, it was like Sukkot. I think it was Sukkot that they went back.
What year?
This was in 19, let's see, in 1924, either 4 or 5, I don't think, something like that. Must be 1924.
You were 20 years old. It was actually only a couple of years since you left Poland, still.
That's right.
2 years or so.
It was very, see, the first time I went quickly from there,
Right.
because it was very easy to get that
get this-
5-year business.
Right. Unfortunately, it wasn't very good either.
That's
It
right.
didn't work, so you had to go back, and they sent you back to Buenos Aires?
Sent you back to me to Rosario,
Back
right?
to Buenos Aires.
Back to Rosario.
Now, how long then, now, that's when you worked in the paper box.
That's when I
factory.
got the paperbacks,
So
right?
now
right.
you're working again here and there in Buenos Aires, looking
Right.
for work. And how long did you stay this time?
About a year and a half or 2 years.
Another year and a half, 2 years.
That's right. Because I came here in 1926.
So by 26 you got out again. Okay, so another year and a half, 2 years. Now, how did you get out the second time?
Second time, it was a very complicated story. Number one, they gave me a name with a certificate of birth
In Argentina?
in Argentina. Yeah, in Argentina.
Or did you have to go out of Argentina
They
yet?
gave me in Argentina.
In Argentina. Also a macher.
Baja
You have to change your name.
and they gave me a certificate from a different town, from Montevideo, a different government, from Montevideo,
That's a different country.
A different
from
country.
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
They gave you a
That-
passport from Uruguay.
From Uruguay.
That claimed you were Uruguayan.
that I was born in Uruguay,
But this took place in Buenos Aires.
right, in Buenos Aires.
Okay, and this passport was Weiss.
The second passport.
This passport said Gulkowicz or Weiss?
No, this is already why it was Weiske, W-E-I-S-K-E.
Okay, they gave
Oh,
you a
a Spanish
passport
name.
from someone named Weiske.
Weiske.
That's not Spanish, that's also German or something, or Polish.
Yes, it's German. It was Eduardo Alberto Weiske.
Okay, and that's how you became Weiss.
That's, yes.
Because the passport said
That's
that.
right.
Because the passport
So,
said it's Spanish.
As soon as I got
Was
that,
this actually someone else's passport, as far as you know, or it was just made up?
I don't know. I think it's actually, maybe it was a man like that. I don't know. So he gave me the passport, and I went to American Capital to take a visa, but he didn't let me go in Buenos Aires to take the visa.
The Macher didn't let you.
Macher didn't let me.
He told you
He
that
had
you
me to Rosario.
to Rosario.
I
Uh-huh.
went to Rosario. There was
This
a
is not
council
to
there.
tape, you
Yes,
know.
it is.
There was a council there, and the council there gave me the visa. Wait a minute, no, wait now. The council gave me a visa not to America. He gave me a visa to Brazil.
Which is what the Macher told you to do, or?
Of course.
Aha, you had to go to Brazil first.
That's right.
So you
So,
got
he
a-
gave me a visa to Brazil only.
Now so you're holding a Uruguayan passport, and now you went to Brazil,
I went to Brazil.
to Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro. In Brazil, I stayed there for about a week, and then I went to the American consulate in Brazil,
Brazil.
and he gave me a visa to the United States.
Uh-huh. So you got a Brazilian visa, an American visa from
Brazil.
Rio de Janeiro
That's
on a
right.
Uruguayan
That's
passport,
right.
and this time it worked.
This time it was.
You got in.
Yes.
So
And that-
1926.
Yeah, and he did not, he told me I shouldn't go to New York. I should go to Boston,
The Macher.
Maca. So as soon as I came from the boat, I went to the train and I went to Boston.
Wait a
We
minute.
got the
Wait a minute.
number
Wait a
of somebody.
minute. When you got off the boat, you went to Ellis Island again.
Ellis Island.
So,
I
yes,
suppose so. I don't
you
remember
must have gone
how I
straight
went.
through.
Must be.
It was still Ellis Island days. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
it was
think
still
so,
Ellis Island
yes.
days. So
So
you
then I
did
think
you did
26.
disembark in New York.
Yes.
So
I
once
came
you
to New
were
York.
once you were in America, what was the bargain of going to Boston?
I think, I don't know what was the reason for it. I think
You didn't sail directly to Boston.
they felt, I suppose, that when you go to somewhere else, not to New York,
They're not so
it's easier
strict.
to get to
Free you, they free you
to pass
easier.
by.
Pass by.
pass by.
But you certainly did not disembark in Boston, did you? You don't. You
No,
You
I
did
was
go
back
through
in
New York.
Definitely. I
Okay.
went by train to Boston.
Ah, okay.
I went to Boston by
I don't see
train.
the importance of
As
put
a
this
ma-
on,
as
put
a
this
ma-
on
as
the
a matter of
television.
fact, what's his
So
name?
people should know how people came to America. And
You
my
don't
kids
have
and
to
their
put it
kids.
on television.
I won't broadcast it. It's only
That's-
my
I
tape.
don't like it. I know it's
As a
yours,
matter
but
of fact,
it's
when I
stupid.
came from Boston back to New York, so Mortal Pius, Moish, he came to visit, to take me up from the train, he with his girlfriend, Rebecca. And when I came here, there was a tragedy here. My uncle died a little while before. So they didn't want to take me to Sarah's house.
This uncle is who? Your father's brother?
Father's
My
sister's
father's
husband.
sister's husband.
Your father's sister's husband.
Yeah. So they didn't take me to Sarah. Sarah lived with them. So they didn't take me to Sarah, but they took me to Ginsburg's. I stayed in Ginsburg overnight.
Now, who is Ginsburg to you?
Another
Because my
cousin.
cousin-
He has a million
And
cousins.
who is that? How? Your father is what? Your mother?
Ginsburg is my father's
Ginsburg's
sister's child.
wife.
Father's sister's child.
Ginsburg's wife is
Ginsburg's wife is your father's
from his
sister's child.
father's side a cousin. First
Well, Ginsburg's wife.
Ginsburg's last name is Ginsburg, so Ginsburg is
no,
probably
Ginsburg's wife is
Ginsburg's
his
wife,
cousin.
probably.
Ginsburg's wife
Was
was
your
my
father's
cousin.
sister's child, right?
Yeah.
My sister, my aunt's the daughter.
Right.
Yeah, my father's sister's daughter.
I
Right.
understand.
So I stayed with them for
A night,
no, one
slept
night
over.
or more, maybe I don't know. And then I went to Sarah, and I stayed with Sarah.
And Sarah was living where at the
Sarah
time?
was living in Monroe Street
Monroe Street.
with that uncle of mine that died. with them.
which was at that time and still Monroestrasse.
I'm on Manderstrasse, right?
Now, Monroestrasse, you lived with Sarah, and what did you do then? Did you get a job right away? You went to school?
Well, for a while, I mean, I think I just did nothing for about a week or 2 weeks, I think. And then my cousin took me to his
The
grocery
grocery
store.
salt
Grocery
in the
store,
market.
to Sultan's grocery
Sultan.
store.
That's
And
you
then he
worked-
went to college.
And you worked for Sultan, and you went to school.
That's
Also, at night?
It's night, of course.
Okay.
I went to school actually right away. I think in the first 2 weeks, I don't think I went to school. But as soon as I started to work in Sultan's, I went to school.
School to learn English first.
English. The school was on East Broadway. Was the same neighborhood, you know.
School to learn English.
That's right.
It
It
was
was a private school. It's called a preparatory school. I think, I forgot the name.
I think you told me once it was Eton or something like that.
Eton?
Eton? Was it called Eton or something like that once? You told me.
Not Eton, yeah, I forget other name. But a well-known professor.
Some preparatory school, and then you learned English.
And then I learned English.
And then you eventually also enrolled in City College afterwards.
Yeah,
But how long did it take?
It took me only a few months. And then I took the exams. You see, I had the Russian diploma of it's called the
University.
Central University, but they didn't accept Russian at that time. So I had to take the exams. So I took the
Because
exams.
they don't.
And,
You took the high school equivalency exam.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they gave us the regular exam for everything. Only English was special. I mean, and that's all.
But
English
you know,
was English for foreigners.
For
But
foreigners.
that
Everything
high-
else you have to pass all
Right,
the
exactly the
exams.
same.
but that
Same.
high school that he went to isn't like here high school. It is like here high school and 2 years college.
The gymnasium.
Well,
Right.
anyway,
Absolutely.
So you had to pass exams in math and in history or whatever.
remember languages.
Languages, history, everything.
History,
You
yeah.
took all these exams after a few months in this preparatory
You're
school.
right. And in September I was already in college.
In September.
And you know, I met a
I came in May, I think, or June, Schwers, I think, around Schwers, I came here. And in September I was already in college.
You know what his friend said? I met her once. I don't even know where she came from, also from the Central American countries. And she said to me that they went with him to school. He has a lot of friends. And none of them worried about the tests. They just got together with them before. He said none of them worried because only he did
knew
it.
everything.
He did everybody.
Now, this time, you're still in Hungary at this time with your mother, 1926, 27,
Yes.
28. Now, after you went to college, and after you went to college,
I went to college for 4 years.
for 4 years, so by 1930, 31, you were finished.
5 years, I think. I took.
5 years.
5 years. Because I finished, I came in 1926. I entered college at the end of September 26, and I graduated in 31.
26, well, from September 26 to June of 31
31.
is 4 years.
4 years, is it?
Well, from September 26 to September 30,
26.
no, it's 5 years, you're right, 5 years. So you did 5 years, and then,
So after I graduated, so I applied for my citizenship papers. It took me about a year to get my citizenship papers. So as soon as I got my citizenship papers, I went to Europe.
now, you sailed back to Europe
Right.
to your family.